In today's video, I have 8 questions that you need to ask your potential client before giving any quote. Now, these questions that I'm going to ask is very, very important when it comes to pricing and when it comes to your business. Hey everyone, this is Aisha of Event Decor and Designs by Aisha, and welcome back. So I have some things written down. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be looking down because I don't want to miss anything, because this is very important, especially when it comes to your business. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the very first question that you need to ask is, what is the event date? Now, the reason why that you need to ask what is the event day or when the event day is because you need to make sure that you have that day available on your calendar. You do not want to tell any potential client that you can decorate for their event and you do not have that date available. So it's very, very important that you know the date that the event is to occur. Now, some clients, they should already know the event date, because if they're reaching out to you for you to book or it's with an inspiration picture, they already have in mind a date, either a potential date or a date that's already set that they're going to be using. You also need to determine whether it's a normal booking or a rush request, because if it is a rush request, you need to charge more money, but we're going to get into that later. Now, you may be asking, what is a rush request? A rush request is anything that the client wants you to do, or any event they want you to do a day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days from the date that they contact you. Now, the reason why you do not always want to take on a rush request, it just depends on what their vision is, because there's some things that you may have to order and it may not get here until after the date that they want, the event day. So that's why it's always important to get the information that you need in order to know what the client wants. Number 2, where is the venue located? So a lot of times when clients reach out to you, they're having their event at a venue. And the reason why you need to know where the venue is located is because travel time. Now, a venue may be located outside of your travel area. A lot of us event decorators, we have a certain travel area that we travel to. Now, some event decorators do travel outside their state or different states. Like, I'm in Alabama. Some people may travel to Georgia. Some people may travel to South Carolina. It just depends. So you need to know the where's the venue located. And this right here affects travel, just like I was telling you before. It affects delivery. It also affects the parking, because many times you will have to pay to park. It also affects the loading and transportation costs. So all of that is included when someone tells you, hey, the venue is located in the same area that you are in, or if it's located outside of the area. Therefore, you would know what to charge, so that when you send them a quote, that information will be included, so that the client, the potential client, will know exactly what their cost is going to be. All right, so let's go on. Number 3, what time can setup begin? What they don't understand is that a beautiful event setup may not be possible if you don't have time to do it. Now, a venue sometimes allows an hour, 2 hours. They may do 5 hours. They may even do 8 hours. It just depends on the venue and the venue owner and what the venue owner tells the potential client. Now, let me tell you, I did a video on a birthday setup that I did. It's been about, I think it was like 2 years ago. If I can find the video, I will link it in the card section. But the lady had reached out to me and she told me that she was having her daughter a birthday celebration at an area here where I am in my area. She wanted me to do the balloons. So she had previously told me that we had I think it was like 2 to 3 hours to set up. But when we got there, the venue was not even ready. It was like a party place where they go and do like bouncy houses and stuff like that. So when we got in to go ahead and do the balloons, it wasn't ready because someone else just had a party and the people had to go in there and clean up. So the lady was on her way. I had called her and I told her, I said, well, they told us that we couldn't set up, that it would be another 30 minutes. And I told her, I said that, we also had, I think it was another event that we had also. So actually, when we got there and got ready to set up, we only had about 20, I don't even think we had 20 minutes. I think we had like 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes to set up. So we had to do the balloons. She had asked us to do the table. So we had a lot of different things that we had to do, but we made it work within 30 minutes. Now, one thing about that is that you can't guarantee anything, especially when a lot of time has been taken off from that. Because when it comes to using a venue, you have to go on what the venue people tell you. So you just have to make sure that they understand that, that affects the type of event, that may affect sometimes the look of the event, because now you're rushed. But you always want to make sure that you do everything within your time and within your capabilities, to make sure that it goes well and it looks really good, okay? But that's one thing that we had to deal with ourselves. So a lot of times you may have to deal with that when it comes to your business, but when you really have everything in place and they already know, the client already know, hey, if the venue tell us we only have 30 minutes to set up, we only have 30 minutes to set up. If the venue tell you have an hour, the venue tell you have 5 hours. Of course, the more hours that you have is better, because now you don't have to rush. You can take your time, and especially if you have more people coming in to help you. All right, so let's go down to the next one. The next one will be number 4, is what areas need to be decorated. Now, one thing about this that your client or your potential client should already know is what they want you to do. So when they call to, either they call or they email you, whatever it is, however you have your business set up for your potential clients to get in touch with you, when they call you or email you, they should already know what areas they want you to decorate. Either they want you to do a full decoration, which means the full, just say the full venue. That means tables. They want you to do a backdrop. They want you to do signs, whatever it may be. Then, you will need to know how or what areas to decorate. So ask whether they need a backdrop, ask whether they need a dessert table, guest tables, entry decor, balloon centerpieces, or the entire room, like I was telling you before. Because a lot of times when the potential client reach out to you, I've had a lot of them call me and say, hey, I just need you to set up. So now I have to ask them, okay, do you want me to do a full setup? Do you just want the backdrop? Do you just want me to do the centerpieces? What is it that you want me to do? So now I do fresh florals, which I have already kind of like, dipped and dabbed before in fresh florals. But now I was able to take a class last Sunday, which I will put a video in the card section, because I did post some videos. Just in case you didn't watch it, you can go and see. But I did do a floral class. So now if you want fresh florals, I will need to know that also, because now you have to go and you have to purchase those things. You have to make sure that you add in the cost of those things. It's so many things that you need to add in the cost for that the potential client don't understand or don't see. All right. So that's why you will need to know what areas need to be decorated, so that when you get to the venue or wherever the event is, you will know exactly what you need to do. You will know, just like for instance, you're doing a tablescape setup. You know exactly what you need to do. If you're going to decorate for round tables, rectangular tables. And one thing about it, it's always good to go in, if there's any way that you can get into the venue ahead of time, to look at the venue, see what size tables, because they are different size tables when it comes to rectangular tables and when it comes to round tables, so that you make sure you get the correct type of tablecloths. We're going to go into that later. All right. So just make sure you know what they want. Backdrop, tablescape, setup, full room, whatever it may be. All right, so let's go ahead and go into number 5. What is the theme or the color palette? So just say, for instance, they're doing a birthday thing. I have a birthday theme coming up in a few months, where I'm going to be doing a 73rd birthday party. So I needed to know either she's going to have a theme or a color palette. Now, she told me the color palette that she wanted. The beautiful colors. So make sure you know a theme or a color palette. Sometimes the client have different ones. Sometimes they may have both, okay? But you need to know that, because that is very, very important when it comes to setup. Now, inspiration pictures help a whole lot. But another thing that you need to make sure that you let your clients know is that an inspiration picture is just that, what it is, an inspiration picture. You are using an inspiration picture is someone else's work. You have to let them know that you're not that event decorator who did that actual setup that they're showing you. it may look different. Okay, because a lot of times when they send you an inspiration pictures, a lot of clients want it to be the exact thing, but you have to understand that everyone is different. Not everyone is the same. People have different talents. People have different skills. So you always want to let them know that this is just an inspiration picture. So let's move on to number 6. How many guests or tables will be there? This is a very, very important question, especially if you are decorating tablescapes. You will need to know exactly how many guests. Now, the reason why I say that is because, just say for instance, they're going to have 200 people. You're going to have to get 200 charger plates. You're going to have to get 200 goblets. You're going to have to use the cutlery. There's so many things that you're going to have to do. All right. So guest count affects the number of decor, supplies, centerpieces, seating, and also the labor required, because guess what? You have to get paid. You have to get paid for your time. So like I was saying before, when we first started, an inspiration picture is just that, an inspiration picture, but an inspiration picture includes so much more in order to get the quote. Okay, so make sure that you get the guest count, make sure you get all of that information so that you will know what amount to put on the quote. Now, just say for instance, you have a client who will say, hey, I don't know, guest count may be 250 people. Okay, well, if you tell me 250 people, then that's what I'm going to give you the quote for, 250 people. If it ends up being, okay, just say for instance, you said 250 people, we go ahead and book, but only 200 people show up, then guess what? You told me 250 people. I decorated for 250 people, even though 200 people showed up. I can't give you any money back because I did exactly what you wanted me to do. We'll talk about that more, okay? But yeah, make sure you know all of that information before giving any quote. All right, so let's go on to number 7. Y'all, we almost done. Number 7 is, what is the client's budget range? Y'all, let me tell you about this one here. There are so many clients who say they do not know what their budget is. But one thing that I want to say is this: all clients have a budget. A lot of times they do not want to tell you what the budget may be. I don't know why, but it's always good to let the event decorator or the event planner, whatever it may be, whoever's decorating for your event, and I'm talking to the client right now, is to let them know what your budget is. An event decorator, event designers, balloon stylists, make sure you ask that question because that's very important. So just say for instance, their budget is $1,000, but you don't know that, so you go ahead and go to $2,000. And then they'll come and be like, well, my budget was only $1,500 or $1,000. Well, that's all you had to tell me in the beginning. Just let me know. So one thing about a budget helps you recommend a realistic event design instead of creating a proposal they cannot afford. So you want to make sure that when you know their budget, you stay within the price of the budget. Okay, so just say for instance, they want something and their budget is only $200. Then guess what? You only get $200 worth of whatever. You're going to get a $200 event. Okay, now I'm going to make it look really good for your $200, but you can't ask for a $5,000 event when you're working on a $200 budget. That's impossible. Okay, that's impossible. That's a, you know what? That's a DIY event. You have to go and DIY that. Okay, do it yourself. But you have to understand that being realistic when it comes to the budget is very, very important, because that can tell how much money that you can afford, how much, you know, just say for instance, like packages and different things like that you have in your business may be more than $200. Then you may have to recommend them out because they, you know, what their budget is not feasible to your business. So you're going to have to recommend them out somewhere, or you can recommend something else to them for them to do. Okay. So that's one reason why you always ask for what the budget range is. Very, very important. Number 8, y'all, we are almost done. Who is responsible for tear down? Now, this is a very important question. Tear down, clean up, pick up, and late night labor should be discussed and priced before the event. So for me, when I go and set up, of course, you're going to set up for them. And then you're going to come back, and sometimes it's called breakdown or tear down. But it is normally the responsibility of the event decorator, unless you are doing balloons. Like I told you in my last video, if you did not see that, I will leave that link also. Like I was telling you, when it comes to the client keeping the balloons, the client, if the event designer or the balloon stylist decide to let the client keep the balloons, then that's the responsibility of the client to clean up. There's no reason for me to go back if the client is keeping the balloons. Okay, so that's the client's responsibility to, you know, burst the balloons, take the balloons with them, whatever it is that they need to do. So that's something that you will have to come up with in order. It just depends on what you are doing and who is responsible for what. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this too. When it comes to an event, and just say for instance, the event designer supplied the charger plates. You go back and there's food and trash still on the charger plate. Most event decorators or designers is not responsible for that cleanup. That's for the client to do. Make sure that charger plate is clean before the event designer or the event decorator come back and pick up the charger plates or whatever it may be. Okay, so usually event decorators is not responsible to clean off the table or clean up like that, clean up any trash. In that case, it will be an extra cost. If I have to come to your event, if I have to come back to tear down and there's trash, napkins, food and stuff still on the charger plates, then I'm going to have to charge an extra fee in order to clean up. That's why it's always good to put those things in contracts. And I talked about contracts before, and I'm going to link that video also. So who is responsible for tear down? That depends on what it is that you are doing. Okay. All right. So a very important lesson. Your price should not be based only on how much the balloons, fabric, decorations cost. You also have to consider planning, because it takes planning in order to decorate. All right. It takes communication. It takes shopping. You do have to shop for the things that they're asking for, especially if you don't already have it in your inventory. It takes preparation, it takes transportation, setup, labor, it takes equipment, tear down, and also a profit. So event decorators, event designer, balloon stylists, whatever you do and whatever your business is, you have to take these things into consideration. All right, so I have something special for you. I have a quote checklist at the very end of this video. So make sure you go and take a screenshot of it, print it out so that you can have it available with you when you get ready to talk to your next client. All right, so do not rush to give a price just because someone sends you an inspiration photo. Again, it's just that, an inspiration photo. You do not have to rush to give a price. You have to make sure you take your time to include everything that we went over today. Ask questions first. Understand the full event, not just the inspiration picture, but the full event. Again, the theme, the color palette, whatever it is that you have to do as the event designer. All right, and then provide a quote that covers your expenses, your labor, and make sure you get yourself a profit, because it is our time. Make sure you take a screenshot of the checklist that I have. Make sure that you have it available on your next call with your potential client, and make sure you share it with a designer or decorator who is still pricing off of any type of information. Okay, this is very, very important so that you can go ahead and get yourself a profit. All right, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in my next video.